Go.
Go.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
So, this is
Time is about... now.
blue shift race. So yeah, have fun. BJC is gonna commentate on this.
Hi. So the first section is mainly just movement, and the standard version for blue shift is actually the Steam version, which has the bunny hop cap. But it also has uncapped FPS, which means that your air acceleration is a lot higher than in the pre-Steam version, also known as the WN version. So yeah, you're going to see Elgu and Bloodvez doing a lot of what we call duck rolling, which is basically where they bind their crouch key to the scroll wheel, and just before they hit the speed cap, which is 544 units per second, they will start to duck roll, which means that they can preserve their speed, and eventually they will slow down from the friction, but then they can continue to bunny hop again because, yeah, like their speed is not above the cap, so...
Yeah, it's very different from normal Half-Life runs.
Yeah, and it's a lot more difficult as well.
Also, we used lowering FPS to make the NPCs turn faster, which saves like a couple, seconds throughout the run.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah, frame rate has a lot of effects in goal-less games.
Yeah.
Also make the door make awful noises.
Yeah. So we're coming up to a really boring elevator cutscene now, which lasts like 2 minutes. And yeah, be warned, this game, literally half of the run is cutscenes, so be prepared.
Yeah, it's pretty cutscene heavy. It has a lot of
like
combat compared to other Half-Life games, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
What was it like 10 or something minutes of cutscenes? Or more than that?
About 14 minutes, I think.
Yeah. So really fun, entertaining.
Word.
Yeah, it's good if you like taking a lot of breaks in between runs.
So, how's everyone doing? How's the weather?
It's too warm.
Because it's summer,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, it's pretty hot here as well.
And of course the black guy dies first because he can.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention, in this elevator, if your FPS is too high, the scientists can randomly get stuck and just get gibbed, and they'll die, which means that you get the mission fail text. So yeah, like these guys are gonna, or they have lowered their frame rate whilst in the elevator, so to stop that from happening.
Also, like in the falling animation or whatever you want to call it, like if you have FPS set too high, you can get stuck in the scientist's body and like get clipped through the roof of the elevator.
Did I soft lock? No, I didn't. Good game. I got stuck in the ceiling.
Nice.
For a while and didn't do anything though. But yeah, this game also has quite a bit of soft locks here and there.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, Gearbox's expansions seem to be a lot more buggy than the original Half-Life.
But yeah, with the higher FPS, we have higher acceleration in the air.
Yeah.
So we use that. go a bit faster. But then again, there's the cap, so we have to duck roll after a couple jumps.
Yeah, and air excel still helps with duck rolling, so basically the higher FPS you have, the better duck rolling you're going to have, especially since you need to actually time the duck rolling a lot sometimes.
Yeah. Do direct that hound eye. Also, you can go faster in ladders by strafing in them, and if you go down ladders, you can go faster by strafing out of them.
Yeah.
Also, here where I am, there's this elevator. If you have high FPS, some of the alien slaves will die, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, and that box is really buggy. Like, you can put yourself underneath it and carry it on your head.
Yeah. Also, here is a spot where you can like take the explosive damage route. Like, you can grab explosives.
Oh, yeah.
You can skip them if you want.
Yeah, there's two different routes. We like nowadays we usually skip the explosives, but it's almost just as fast to take them as well because you can kill all the soldiers really quickly.
Yeah.
And Bloodvez is about to come up to the part with the soldiers. He's like a few hallways behind that.
Didn't get stuck in, like the elevator didn't reverse, that's good.
Yeah.
Also, is that like only blue shift thing, where like if you get in the way of the teleporting polygons or whoever, you get gipped? Does it work in
yeah, I think that is
opposing
actually...
force?
No, in opposing force in Half-Life, if you get stuck, like if you're in the same position as an alien teleporting there, it will just get stuck in you, whereas in blue shift it will actually kill you. So you basically get telefragged.
Yeah, it's kinda dumb.
Yeah, it's really annoying if you're grinding SS and yeah, you just randomly like jump into the spot. So what you just saw Bloodvez do was shoot the scientist to skip his dialogue so that the door opens, so he can just go straight out instead of talking to that guy.
Oh, I crashed.
Nice.
Nice. Good game.
Okay, whatever. Never had a crash there before. Like, I killed the guy and he just crashed.
Bloodvez also shot the barricade for the elevator open because he's going to do something which he found kind of recently, which we'll see soon. I'll explain it when it comes to that point.
Also, in some cases, there's a lot of scaring the enemies instead of fighting them.
Yeah, and shooting grenades will, or even throwing hand grenades at the right time will scare enemies. Also, what you just saw Bloodvez do with the AR nades on the wheel things is something called a nuke, which is basically where if you shoot an explosive in a really tight space, the radius gets doubled. So that's really useful for destroying those little block things all in one.
Yeah, I felt it.
And now we have another cutscene coming up. The Rosenberg cutscene where you first meet him.
Yeah. After that there's the escort, which is really boring.
Yeah. And annoying as well because he can do really stupid shit like go back up staircases and stuff.
Yeah.
Like at one point he can like teleport right into you and you get stuck in him. And that's like annoying also if you're like doing single setting.
Oh yeah, so you can activate the speech from outside the container, which means that you can, like, it's quicker to wait outside the container rather than getting Rosenberg to give you a boost outside.
Yeah, you can get enemies outside faster.
Yeah, and you can also, like, get him to follow you from outside the container by pressing him through the wall. And that's a really common trick in any Gold Source Half-Life run, like pressing buttons and activating stuff through walls.
Yes, I'm Dr. Rosenberg. Although I'm not very seems to see that thing in the ceiling. If you're lucky, you might be able to take those soldiers by surprise.
So yeah, Bloodvez just activated him through the container instead of opening a door, because then you have to wait for some more dialogue. But if you stay outside the container, then yeah, he'll just follow you straight away. And now begins the Rosenberg escort. So yeah, just more clearing the path, getting rid of soldiers so you can escort him. And also it's really helpful to lower your frame rate whilst he's climbing up the stairs, because it takes ages for him to turn on every set of stairs otherwise.
Fucking hell.
The other annoying thing that Rosenberg can do is, like, if he gets hurt, sometimes he can just like stop and say like, "Hang on, Calhoun, I want to take a break" or whatever, which is really not helpful. Nice. Okay, so what you're seeing Bloodvez do now is he goes through the change level, then goes back through the change level, and then back through again. And what that does is, instead of Rosenberg like stopping for a moment to enter the elevator and talk to you, he will just run straight into the elevator. And I'm not sure how much time that saves. Do you know how much Bloodvez?
I think when I timed it, it was somewhere around 5 seconds. Well, it depends how clean you do like the level transition thing. Like you can even lose time on that. So.
Yeah.
Or I think like tops maybe 7 seconds. If you like got like hops and don't get stuck
on the stairs.
Yeah.
Initializing the power cell matrix, and I'll see if I can get the system online in the main room. Now there's no time to wait.
So yeah, now that the Rosenberg escort is now over, you just have another cutscene where you literally do nothing for like the next 2 or 3 minutes. This is actually, you do lower your frame rate here. so that when Rosenberg turns to use the equipment, it's faster. And I think that saves like 6 seconds or something overall. But yeah, this is just Rosenberg talking to you, telling you what the situation is, and activating the equipment and firing up the teleporter for you to go to Zen.
Like we care.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just like an artist's paradise at this point, because you can just like draw stuff with the crowbar and like do trick jumps and stuff.
Oh, nice. I scared him.
Oh yeah, that's the thing as well. If you shoot or crowbar something, it will make him stop and get scared.
Yeah.
Much interesting.
Yeah. Thankfully, the next section is actually a lot better than what you've seen so far, or at least what you've seen so far of the like the captive freight section. It has a lot of scaring aliens and like low grav bee hopping and things like that.
It's a fun part of the speedrun.
Yeah, it's probably the best part, to be honest. Other than like the Duke Calls chapter, maybe.
The best part there is dying when you're doing it, so...
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hardest part, I suppose, because you have to do all those grenade boosts and stuff over the gaps, which we'll see soon.
Fun cutscene. Also, the Gen chapter, you have like armor and health. Like you have to pay attention what boosts you're gonna do, and do you have health for them?
Yeah, there's a specific route you have to take where you do some hand grenade boosts, and yeah, you need to watch your armor, because otherwise you won't be able to do all of them. And if sometimes like you will take too much damage and you won't be able to do the last one.
Yeah.
Alright, so Bloodvez is in the zone section now. He's going to climb up some rocks and skip going around.
I just took some damage from that the thing, and like I don't even know what it is. I did it again.
And then in these, in like the little Zen vents, like the alien vents, you can lower your frame rate and actually surf down the, like the little ramp things. There are a few clip brushes here and there which will stop you, so you have to try and avoid those, but yeah, generally you can just sort of slide down and get through the vents really quickly.
Wow, just like kill 2 Hectors with one single shot. Never done that before.
Yeah.
And like opposed to normal Half-Life runs, we're playing on easy, so like we don't have to worry too much about like getting damage, because it's...
Yeah, like the standard in Half-Life is to use the version that has the capped frame rate, so you can't do the high frame rate exclusive tricks, which means you pretty much have to use the alien slave to boost you up, and you need to use hard difficulty to do that, so that's where the exception is. For opposing force and blue shift we use easy difficulty because it's the fastest, and hard isn't that much harder anyway, so there's not really much point in running it.
Yeah. It usually just adds more randomness if you play on hard. Enemies hit scan you and kill you.
Yeah.
I think you can like do the Vortigaunt boost on easy, but it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot more inconsistent.
Dude, I did the same and killed 2 death traps with one shot.
Sick.
Also, there's multiple routes in these tunnels, but yeah, we have the fastest one down easily. There's like 3 tunnels in each like area.
Yeah, like, I think even in one of the old segmented runs of this, they actually took a suboptimal like tunnel route, so it's pretty difficult to work out which one's fastest at first.
Just make a task.
Yeah. Alright, so now Bloodvez is gonna activate some stuff, pick up some health for the next section.
Dang it.
And yeah, he's wiggling his mouse to like make both of the things turn at the same time instead of having to do them separately. Which is a common thing you can do for health and armor charges as well, like you can use both at the same time if you wiggle your mouse quick enough.
Nice.
Ah, I got the unlock gap.
The Winslow hit me. I think I could have continued, but... or maybe not.
So this area where Elgu is, this is the riskiest damage boost, because if you don't have enough armor here, then you will just die because you have really low health, and if you have too much, then you have to stop and take some damage from the bull squid, or the tree thing, to make sure that you have enough, or to make sure that you have less armor to do the boost, because damage boosts rely on armor, so...
Yeah. More damage you take, the more boost you get.
Yeah. Alright, so Bloodvez is back in a little cutscene area, waiting for Rosenberg to explain what's going on. And then he will send you down to the power-up section down in the basement, which is really, really quick. Which you'll see, you basically skip the whole chapter.
Yeah, you skip the one big map. And just skip opening the bridge, or...
Yeah, like there's a second map that you're supposed to go through and like draw a bridge and activate a bunch of stuff, but as you'll see, you'll just be able to skip it.
I don't think like I have ever played that map. I always skipped it. Like I've never even seen it.
Yeah. So yeah, you saw Bloodvez do a damage boost up to the trigger, which triggers a cutscene, and that like you need to trigger that cutscene so that you can then go back down and trigger another cutscene, which is the soldiers blowtorching the door, and that's faster because usually you have to take the elevator up there. So now we're just gonna wait for the guys to blowtorch the door, and Bloodvez is gonna shoot a AR grenade over to the barrels, which will kill all the soldiers there. And he picked up the satchel, which is important for later on. I'll explain that when you see it. And this is where the main skip is, like, you basically just do a damage boost up to the final area of the chapter.
Yeah, you have a lot of armor in that area, so it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah. So yeah, now he's just gonna charge the battery, which is gonna be sent up to Rosenberg and his team to charge the teleporter. And that's gonna be it, like that's the whole chapter done. Also, for some reason, Barney is invisible there. There's supposed to be a dead, well not dead, but an injured Barney at the door. But you can just kill him, and for some reason he's invisible, and yeah, you can just open the gate.
I managed to get the battery stuck in the like receptacle thing.
The batteries are the worst part of the ROM.
Yeah, lowering frame rate does help, but it still doesn't help that much. Like, it's still really fiddly to get the battery inside the thing, and sometimes it can get stuck as well.
Also, if you kill the injured Barney too fast, you will softlock.
Yeah. Yeah, like sometimes the gate went open, which is really, really frustrating considering you just done like this whole, you know, run full of cutscenes and shit, which makes this game really, really hard to grind. Well, not hard, but just annoying to grind.
Yeah. For a second I forgot what I need to do, like, I forgot that I need to push the elevator button.
Nice. So we're coming up to the final chapter now, A Leap of Faith. And this, again, is just one big cutscene, pretty much. You do a few things, like press a few buttons. Yes. Oh yeah, and throw the satchel, like, you'll see Bloodvez throw a satchel into the door. And the reason he does that is because, like, when you're waiting for your portal to be opened, these soldiers will start blowtorching the door and they will try to stop you. So having a satchel there basically just kills all but one soldier, and then you can just finish the last soldier off with an AR grenade.
Control room and activate the main tower. Once the process is started, you'll also need to release the tapping lock each time the system is charged in order to open the displacement field. Don't worry.
Yeah, basically the end of the game is just pressing buttons, which is very sad.
Yeah, nothing like the good boss fights from the other two games.
Yeah. Also, you can softlock the cutscene if you turn the valve too fast, I think.
Oh yeah,
and it breaks.
yeah, you have to wait like half a second or something to turn the valve. Otherwise, nothing will happen and the teleporter will just start exploding and yeah, game over.
That's a good thing you reminded me, I forgot about this valve.
Yeah, and I think if you don't make a save, the autosave is like before the cutscene starts, so if you fuck that up you have to wait for the entire thing again. So yeah, just more drawing and killing Helmbys and waiting for your portal to be opened, pressing the button to activate the portal for the other scientists. And then when your portal comes, you just kill the last soldier, and there's a kind of difficult damage boost. I mean, it usually depends on how much armor you have. And like, depending on how much armor you have will depend, well no, it won't depend, but you will have to boost in a different spot if you have too low armor, because of the height that you gain. So it's kind of tricky sometimes.
And yeah, you can't go to the teleporter yourself, which you are opening for the scientists.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just like blank sprites. Well, not blank, but like, you know, you can't actually use them.
Yeah. Would be cool though.
Yeah. Okay, so Yolta, or whoever's doing the time, needs to get ready for time. Because the end is near. I'll let you guys say when that is though, because, yeah, delay.
Yeah. So yeah, you save a bit of time by boosting and hitting the last button from the outside.
Yeah, instead of having to go all the way around. And then there's this Zen area where if you fall down, it saves a bit of time as well, which is why we don't end timing until the credits.
Yeah.
And time, I think. Time, Yelter, time.
And time for me. Decent race, I guess.
Stopped on Bloodvez, whatever.
Yeah. Good race.
Okay, yeah, good race. It's
So
actually
after-
ended up being pretty close in the end.
Yeah, I crashed and, you know, that sucked, but whatever.